Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. In a meeting on Tuesday, Grant County PUD commissioners unanimously voted to increase retail electric rates by an average of 3%. Dusty's In-N-Out, a local burger landmark, will officially close its doors tomorrow. Rain and warmer temperatures on the way tonight and into next week. Your local weather forecast is coming up. Wenatchee police say they've arrested a man for selling fentanyl to a woman who later suffered a fatal drug overdose. 42-year-old Jeremy Sundance Bowlerjack was arrested this week on suspicion of distributing fentanyl and methamphetamine. The investigation began January 7th after a 46-year-old woman staying at the Wenatchee YWCA was found dead in a bathroom with drugs and paraphernalia. Police say the woman had spent the prior weekend at the Red Lion Hotel where she sought narcotics from Bowlerjack. He remains held in the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Wenatchee School Superintendent Kory Kalahar says the decision to close Columbia Elementary School came about just this month in the face of a nearly $9 million budget shortfall. Kalahar spoke with NCWLIFE's Jordan Gonzalez about the surprise announcement 1 week ago that Columbia would no longer serve students as of the next school year. Parents, teachers, and staff were stunned by the news, and many have vowed to fight the decision. Kalahar says the closure is a step the district never wanted to consider.
The conversation, I think, for school closure, it's one that is kind of in the back of our mind as kind of the worst case scenario and a place where we don't want to jump into and don't want to spend time. But I believe, as the numbers were being exposed to us, I mean, we've had to have that idea in the back of our mind as well too. And so I think that as a district, I think we're in a little bit of maybe not denial, but a little bit of that area where we do not want to have to go here until we have all of the facts. And the problem with the actual pace of the budgeting process has us in January kind of knowing what those numbers look like, solidifying those numbers to where our finance team feels like these are actually the numbers that we need to go by. And that's when we realized that some of our worst fears were going to have to be realized. And so there have been, conversations and dialogue and research and some analysis on what this could look like for the Wenatchee School District if it were to happen. And I think I was just like, nope, nope. If I were to do some things over again, that might look a little different. We definitely knew that this was not going to be a situation where people aren't going to be upset or talk about it, and we welcome that because Columbia is a great school. They have amazing educators. They have amazing family and students. They've grown to be more than just a neighborhood school. I really feel like, they are a family.
You can see more from our interview with Kory Kalahar on our website, ncwlife.com, and next week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In a meeting on Tuesday, Grant County PUD commissioners unanimously voted to increase retail electric rates by an average of 3%. The increase is estimated to add $2.50 for the average monthly residential customer and roughly $10 for the average small business. The increase is meant to offset inflation and operational costs as well as to fund future projects. The rate increase will go into effect the 1st of April and is estimated to add $6.8 million to the PUD's current average annual revenue of $226.5 million. 13th District State Representative Alex Ybarra saw one of his bills clear the House this week. House Bill 1950 would give state employees easier access to the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which allows them to shorten the life of any student loans they owe. Ybarra and his fellow sponsors say the chance at loan forgiveness is one incentive for workers to apply for state employment and remain on the job longer in the midst of continuing employee shortages. He co-sponsored the bill with Democrat Vandana Slatter of Bellevue. When we come back, the president of Wenatchee Valley College made his rounds this week at the Washington Capitol, and a new bill in the State House would give Washington greater oversight of H-2A employment in its fields and orchards. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Shoot, I think I left my keys in the kitchen. Can you grab them?
Yep.
Find them?
What's this?
It's a locking bag. It keeps Grandma's medication safe.
But I could just take it.
Well, for one thing, it locks. And if it were gone, I know there's a problem.
Huh. Well played.
Help prevent opioid misuse before it starts. Visit getthefactsrx.com.
In Digital Media Arts program, we learn about video production gear and editing by the combination of class projects and nonprofit work and employment.
It makes things happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical.
We work in the industry at the Wenatchee Round, NCWLIFE channel, and the Town Toyota Center event. Every day we work with industry standard equipment for a hands-on learning experience.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
The president of Wenatchee Valley College made the rounds this week at the Washington Capitol. Famous Harrison visited state legislators who represent the college campuses in Wenatchee and Omak, including 12th District State Senator Brad Hawkins and Representative Mike Steele and Joel Kretz representing the 7th District. Harrison met with lawmakers to discuss Wenatchee Valley College's interests and legislative needs while they carry out their 60-day session, which ends on March 7th.
Dusty's In-N-Out, a local burger joint, will officially close its doors tomorrow. The restaurant previously closed back in October of 2022 before reopening in January of the next year under the owners of the Wild Huckleberry, a popular breakfast establishment. However, the owners took to Facebook yesterday to announce the closure. As a thank you to the community, all single burgers will be $3.99 each today and tomorrow. In their post, the owner said, quote, "We have loved our time at Dusty's, but we look forward to the future as we focus on our other Wild Huckleberry locations." A new bill in the State House would give Washington greater oversight of H-2A employment in its fields and orchards. H-2A agricultural visas admit guest workers from other countries to take on labor-intensive harvest jobs, but critics warn those workers are vulnerable to abuse and wage theft. House Bill 2226 passed through the Labor Committee today. It would require a state count of workers at each site and quarterly reports on their status. House Democrats who support the bill say it will increase transparency and help guide the state's agricultural policy.
Coming up next, as voting begins today on the Eastmont construction bond, we'll give you a tour of Cascade and Rock Island elementary schools in tonight's feature story. Rain, possibly mixed with snow, is likely tonight, overnight, and for most of Saturday. I'll have all the details coming up in your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why people here drive Honda. Dependable all-wheel drive with traction control, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to fill up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda is known for legendary fuel efficiency? Great deals are here now, and so is Mr. Frost. So see your Inland Northwest Honda dealer today. Honda can handle it.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Today begins the 18-day voting period for the February 13th special election. On the ballots in Douglas County is a $117 million school construction bond that targets 4 Eastmont elementary schools for building improvements and would add safety upgrades to all schools. Earlier this week, we heard from 4 teachers who spoke about the learning challenges related to the building conditions at both Cascade and Rock Island elementary schools. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE's Jordan Gonzalez got a tour from both of the school's principals to hear more.
Rock Island Elementary is one of 4 Eastmont schools named in their 2024 school construction bond. While the other 3 would see complete modernization, Rock Island would see a single point of entry, be able to replace the roof and their HVAC system.
One of the first grade classrooms didn't get heat. They're having issues with it. I know some of the bathrooms are completely frozen over, it feels like. One of the bathrooms isn't getting the hot water, so it's those kind of issues that even our maintenance department does an amazing job of getting out and helping us and servicing our needs. However, sometimes, if other schools are going through the exact same thing, especially those older schools, Cascade, Kenroy Lee, it could cause a trickle-down wait. Like they might beat us to the punchline, so we have to wait until they get theirs gets fixed, and then we can get ours fixed. But our maintenance department, I feel bad because they do a lot of work trying to keep this place up to date, and they're working hard around the clock.
Several Eastmont schools are having problems with their heating and cooling systems, which stem from the age of their buildings. At Rock Island, their HVAC problems are caused by a manufacturer error.
There was a problem in the product design from the company, and now it's causing a lot of issues with our system. That's the reason why like my office, for instance, could be the coldest in the winter, hottest in the summer. But then you go to the classroom, same thing. Cold, you go to some of the even the newer classes or even the older ones, and they're just super cold sometimes in that morning. Summertime is hard because when they come back from the summer and we're in that fall area, but it's still hot out, the sun is directly on that side of the building, and what happens is that's the hottest part of the day, and the teachers are getting all that heat.
Back at Cascade, Principal Trevor Summers took us through classrooms and portables. Cascade students and teachers utilize the whole school, and that often means making makeshift instructional spaces out of anywhere they can.
We have to create small group work in essentially hallways. So this table, and every pod has this. This is where our kids get a lot of their special education services, and you can see the lighting's not great and the space isn't great. It's not conducive for learning, and yet this is where we're having kids get extra support. And this is just the best we can offer just because of the way that the building's made up. And we don't have any extra space. There's no open classrooms. There's no additional areas that aren't being utilized by staff and students all the time.
Summers also took us through the gymnasium, the floor of which he said basketballs hardly bounce on, to another intervention room that is inside the gym.
For her to work with our kids, she has to go and get them and often walk them all the way through, walk them through a gym to bring them in here to work with them, to give them extra support, and then walk them back, which, again, not the most efficient or productive way to do things. You might think, well, it's, a minute or 2 to walk, but when you do 2 minutes each way, 4 minutes every day, that's 20 minutes a week times 180 days, it adds up. We're looking at significant loss of learning just because we have to walk to go get students to bring them in because we don't have facilities to properly house them.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Friday was a good one. We didn't see any precipitation today. Boy, we've had plenty of it throughout the week, and just some low clouds out there for today. A little bit warmer as we look down at the Wenatchee Valley from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera. And Malcolm pointed out, you can see actually some ice floating in the Columbia River, even back behind me a little bit. Still some cold temperatures out there, but we are warming up, and we are going to see a big warm up as we get into next week. We'll talk more about that, but we have some wintry mixed weather to talk about for tonight. And of course, that's mainly Stevens Pass and Snoqualmie Pass, but also the Waterville area. You could see some slick roadways from maybe some mixed precipitation. Blewett Pass is also included in that, and maybe even down in the Wenatchee area and over into Chelan too. So keep that in mind for light snow and possible ice accumulations out there if you are traveling around tonight or early tomorrow. 37 our high today. 35 is where we should be for this time of year, and our record high is 52, and that was set in 1962. This morning, 30 degrees our overnight low. That's above where we should be. 25 is normal for this time of year, and 4 below is our record set in 1972. Sunrise 7:34 this morning, and the sun set at 4:53. All right, let's get you into those Saturday temperatures, and you're going to notice 40s on the map, especially in the Columbia Basin. Moses Lake, Quincy, Ephrata in the low 40s. We'll see about 38 in Wenatchee, also Eniat, and then a little bit warmer up Highway 97 into Omak, and a little bit cooler for Leavenworth and Lake Wenatchee with high temperatures tomorrow, predominantly in those mid-30s. All right, let's take a look at what we can expect, and it is a wet and warm weather pattern. Here we are back in Washington State. 1, 2, 3 storm systems set to move in on us, and it's on this southwesterly path moving it right into Washington State. So that's why we're going to see some very wet weather over the weekend and into the first part of next week. Tonight we can expect cloudy skies. That's right, a 100% chance that we will see some rain and snow, and that goes for almost all of the state. Even the lighter green is some heavier precipitation. We could see that along the west slopes of the Cascades tonight. For Saturday, cloudy skies, and folks, it's going to be a wet one to kick off our weekend. A 90% chance of rain, high temperatures in the upper 30s, almost a Pineapple Express type weather pattern setting up for us with that southwesterly flow. On Sunday to end our weekend, I think we'll see some fog to begin our day. A 50% chance of rain. Probably won't happen till later in the day. We are going to warm up on Sunday with that strong southerly flow of air. High temperatures on Sunday in the lower 40s. And then to kick off our next work week, mostly cloudy skies for Monday. Kind of an in-between storm day on Monday. A 40% chance of maybe just some evening showers. Going to warm up too with highs in the mid-40s. We're going to be 10 degrees above where we should be. And look what's coming on Tuesday. This is a huge area of low pressure out in the Pacific. It's going to bring us a 40% chance of rain during the day, but as this thing moves in on us in the nighttime, we're going to see some pretty good rain. Highs in the low to mid 40s on Tuesday, and then Wednesday going to be our wet day next week. Cloudy skies. There you have it. A 90% chance of rain statewide. We're going to see highs still mild, so it should be all rain with highs in the low 40s. And then getting into Thursday next week, this low is kind of in a holding pattern off the Washington coast. It'll bring us cloudy skies. Once again, a 60% chance of rain. Most of that will be in eastern Washington on Thursday with highs once again above normal in those low 40s. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. 34 overnight tonight. Rain likely overnight and on Saturday. 38 the high. 40 to 50% chance of rain Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. But look at those temperatures. The warmest day on Monday at 44 degrees. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, back to the wet weather. We'll see a 90% chance of rain on Wednesday and 42. And then some clouds on Thursday, a 60% chance of rain with highs again, I think should be in those low 40s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
What once was old now is new to the NCWLIFE channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCWLIFE Channel, your local TV station.
Won't you take me to college sports? Graham Ike poured in 22 points, grabbed 7 rebounds. It was close. San Francisco came back, but Gonzaga holds on to beat the Dons last night in Spokane. Here are your highlights.
Over 12 times. Make him know that he's a point of emphasis in the offense. Watson driving in. Anton Watson off the glass. He's going to have to score down the stretch a little bit more. Watson makes his move. Watson, another bucket for Anton Watson. Hickman found Greg. 3. Good! Well off the mark. Here comes Demo. Watson. Good! Many threes. He was tempted. That's more his style. Wins it. His free throw shooting. Made them both. Rebound, Greg. And it's finally over.
And Dane Ericstrip scored 16 points. Eastern Washington wins for the 8th consecutive time. They defeated Northern Colorado in Cheney. By the way, the Eastern men undefeated in Big Sky play. All right, women's college basketball, can't forget about the ladies. In fact, it was a clean sweep for Gonzaga. No problems for the ladies' Zags all over Santa Clara down in California, 82-45. Yvonne E. Jim, 9 of 16 from the field. And as far as Eastern's concerned, Jalisa Lawrence poured in 17 points off, and Jamie Laura had 16. Eastern beats Northern Colorado on the road last night, 68-62. Kraken back at it tonight. The Blues are in town to take on Seattle at Climate Pledge Arena, 7 o'clock. You can watch that on Root Sports Northwest. As far as your schedule for college basketball over the weekend, ladies first, because that's the way we do it around here. Tonight it is Washington State at USC. You can watch that on the Pac-12 Washington Network at 7 o'clock. The Huskies at Pauley Pavilion to take on UCLA. Tomorrow, number 17 Gonzaga, the Lady Zags will be in San Francisco to take on the Lady Dons, 2 o'clock on ESPN+. And on Sunday, it's Washington State at UCLA at 1 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network, and the Huskies will be at USC at noon on the Pac-12 Network. And on Saturday, for the men, Gonzaga at Pacific at 7 o'clock on Root Sports, Colorado at Washington State at 2 o'clock, Utah at Washington on ESPN. We love sports, 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 sports. To the Les Schwab Prep basketball scoreboard we go. For ladies basketball last night, it was Kashmir over Quincy in a big way. No problems there, 56-19. Zilla over Chelan in a non-leaguer. Okanagan got by Manson 64-14. He thought that was a blowout. Look at the score between Tenasket and Bridgeport in girls basketball last night. Boys basketball, Quincy defeated Kashmir. They got by him pretty good. Zilla over Chelan. It was Manson over Okanagan. Tenasket got the better of Bridgeport. They celebrated senior night last night at the Eastmont High Gymnasium, and the Eastmont Grapplers defeated Wenatchee in boys wrestling. The final there was 48-21. That is what happened. Here is what's going to happen tonight in a game that's on right now on our Facebook page. It is Eastmont and Wenatchee in girls basketball. Again, streaming on our Facebook page. Sunnyside is at Moses Lake. Ellensburg is at Ephrata. Omak takes on Cascade. Kashmir takes on Okanagan. Liberty Bell is at Lake Roosevelt tonight. And Oroville and Brewster in girls basketball. Brett boys schedule tonight. Same schedule, just a little bit later. On TV right here on the NCWLIFE channel, the Wildcats and the Wenatchee Panthers with the Wenatchee High School Hall of Fame induction ceremonies as well. 7 o'clock right here. Sunnyside is at Moses Lake. Ellensburg is at Ephrata. At 7:15, Omak and Cascade will tip off. And then at 7:30, It's Cashmere at Okanagan, Liberty Bell at Lake Roosevelt, and Oroville at Brewster. To Saturday we go. It's a busy day in sports. Over the weekend, Sunnyside will be at Eastmont at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. Wenatchee at Davis at 4:30. That's also the same tip time for Eisenhower at Moses Lake. 3:30, East Valley at Ellensburg. The Ellensburg girls basketball team, by the way, have won 67 consecutive games. We'll see if they keep that alive. Othello welcomes Ephrata. Liberty Bell welcomes Quincy. And girls basketball tomorrow. Bridgeport is at Waterville Mansfield for homecoming at 4 o'clock. Boys basketball, same schedule, just a little bit later. Take a look. Sunnyside at Eastmont, Wenatchee at Davis, right on down the line. And again, it is homecoming for Waterville Mansfield. They are rolling right now at Eastmont Lanes. It takes a long time, about 6 hours, for the District 6 championship to take place. Eastmont, Wenatchee, and West Valley all won. They all split the Big 9 regular season title, but this is districts for a chance to go to state. Wild hockey tonight. Thunderbirds are in town to take on the Wenatchee Wild. Something just flew right by my head. It scared me. Seattle at Wenatchee at 7 o'clock. And tomorrow, it is Sunday, I should say, Prince George will take on the Wild at 4 o'clock. You can wrap up the weekend for the conference championships. In football, Kansas City and Baltimore will play for the Lamar Hunt Trophy, named after Lamar Trophy. That's at 12 noon. And then Detroit and San Francisco at 3:30 on Fox. The winners will play in the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. And the Eastmont Wildcats have named their new head coach to replace Michael Don. He's been with the Wildcat program since 2017 as the defensive coordinator. Jay Foster will take over the program come this fall. Congratulations to Coach Foster, the new coach of the Eastmont Wildcat Gridiron Football Club. That's sports. Reporting from here, I'm me. Dan Coons hosts will Wake Up Wenatchee Valley except Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday of next week. And then the following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm going to be on assignment. I have discovered as I've gotten older that I have less tolerance for what's going on behind me that you see on your screen. I'm going to head to where the weather is warm. Jasmine Sanchez will be filling in for me for the next week anyway, maybe the next couple of weeks. I will see you the day after the Super Bowl. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live and local with Jasmine come Monday morning.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great weekend.